Alright, so this is a product I bought at Lowe's. Mosquito dunks, kills mosquitoes. You know, it's organic friendly. Basically, it's based on a bacteria that produces a toxin, and when it's ingested by various insects, it perforates their guts, creates holes, and kills them.
Alright, this is my first attempt at using this mosquito dunks product. I only used almost about half of a BTI donut. They're kind of like coasters in terms of material. They can break up a little bit, and I try to get into a funnel. If I had to do this all over again, I would use a pair of pliers and crush it up. They're very hard, and you can't break them manually with your fingers. One concern I had in my mind was whether the chlorine in tap water was going to kill the BTI bacteria once they dissolve in there. So I kind of let the water sit for a while before putting the BTI in, hoping the chlorine would air out or any other things that could be dangerous to the bacteria. This is a demonstration of what a dunk is. The term dunk refers to soaking all of the soil of a potted plant with some kind of pest control solution. So it could be an insecticide, or in this case a biological control agent. Name your weapon of choice. I ended up doing a 4-liter dunk for each pot. Here I'm just picking up those crumbs of BTI donut and putting them back in the bottle, or just crushing them. So this is actually a very tedious process because I had to let all the tap water air out to hopefully get rid of the chlorine. There's no way I can use distilled water for such large volumes. It's just too valuable, even though I have a water distiller. And I'm just crushing the donuts here in the bits to spread it around. I'm hoping I drowned a lot of fungus gnats here, or at least chased them away on the balcony. Okay, it's day 240, and when I came home I noticed a lot of condensation on the underside of these tape strips that I had pieced together. And that's because moisture has limited area from which to escape. So I noticed all these patterns, and those are really neat actually. Those are fungus gnats walking on the underside of the moist tape. They can move on the tape when it's wet. Much like you'd expect on wet tape, it doesn't function like it does when it's dry. So I have to call into question the efficacy of this tape trap. I think if the soil is too moist, then it basically does nothing. Once it gets wet at some point during the day when you're not there, it frees up all the fungus gnats, when the whole purpose of this tape is to trap them with stickiness and just let them die so they can't lay new eggs. But when it works, and when it's dry, you can just take it off and wad up all the fungus gnats and throw them away. Okay, it's day 241, and I have more fungus gnat condensation skating art. It never gets old. The camera settings are a little different here, so there's kind of a bluish hue to it. It's very beautiful. So I'm calling this the Sistine Chapel of fungus gnat civilization. This is the greatest art that fungus gnats have ever created. Alright, it's day 241, and this is a typical scene in the early morning. The ambient light that comes in is at a low level, but it's very important because these are extra hours of sunlight. I made these solar reflectors. They're very cheap and disposable, but look how much of a difference that makes when I bring this close. The amount of reflected light just makes the plant glow. If you get it any closer, it doesn't really do much because the light from here and here won't get onto the plant. But, as is, this is a very effective and easy method of increasing the amount of sunlight. Basically, it doesn't matter if light comes from the back or underside of the leaves and goes through it. I mean, they're very thin, so the chlorophyll will capture that light regardless of which direction it's coming from. In the lower left corner, if you pay attention, you'll see an adult spider mite walk by on the underside of the tape. Basically, spider mites don't like this really humid environment that I've created with the tape trap, but there still are some around. Although the Triazicide has pretty much killed everything. Okay, it's day 248, and the solar reflectors have really helped these shoot systems along, especially Drake. That one has grown pretty tall. It's too tall for this aluminum reflector already. And I'm very happy with this shoot system. Everything's going right with this one. As for Sully, I think this shoot system is problematic. I don't know if it's going to make it. For Big Bertha, it had 4 chute systems, and the one that was featured maybe 2 episodes ago, that one's now completely dead. So I'm beginning to doubt this whole theory I had the last episode about hydrogen peroxide being the cause of death for these chute systems. This is footage after I did some vicious hydrogen peroxide dunks. You can see another chute system there for Sully, so that's its saving grace. I did 4 liter 0.3% hydrogen peroxide solution dunks and poured away all the excess water on the balcony.